And there was a choreography about, and then you hit him with this, and you hit him with that. And the director said, listen, fight, and I'll shoot it. And you say, okay, so that's what happened when you are 20. When a director say fight, you fight. And then we were hitting each other so hard, and we were all bruised. But we were happy because we got it. Today, at 52 years old, if they say fight, I say, no, I'm going to the trailer, call the stunt guy. Hi, I am Javier Bardem, and this is the timeline of my career.
¡Eh! ¡Mira!
Yo le bajé anoche a la puerta.
My mom was an actress, and she was doing a TV series. And there was a kid in the little tile in the scene, but the kid got sick. And my mom said, I'll bring mine. And then they brought me to the set. They took me out of school, which I loved. It was like the 15th century. And they were bringing these musketeers, they were bringing these guns, and they were playing with a kid, and the kid was supposed to laugh. I cried because I got really scared. And the director, which is a genius, called Fernando Fernán Gómez. Some of the people in Spain would call him God because he was a writer, director, actor that is really an icon in our country. He said, okay, I'm fine. He's a dramatic actor. I'm fine, I can live with that. My career started as a dramatic actor at the age of 5.
Que me dejes.
Venga, súbete, que te llevo a casa.
No quiero.
Con esta moto, mientras tú llegas a casa andando, yo voy y vuelvo 100 veces.
It was the real first main role in a movie that I did. I was 21, and Penelope, she was 16. Jordi Moya, the other actor, he was 21 as well, and it was the first chance. It was the first chance for us to work on a movie, and I remember everything. It was an amazing experience of being free out of the house, doing a job in a different city. We were so well prepared, and at the same time so scared, so insecure, and the most important of it all, we were very good taken care of by the director, VIEJOS Luna. If in that moment you have someone that is more hard on you or can really push you too much, you may give up. You may say, I can't do this, and you may turn to be or become something else. We were lucky, and because of VIEJOS Luna, the 3 actors that I mentioned, we are still working today.
Me gustas mucho.
¿Qué?
Que me gustas mucho.
What? I have some friends that can solve this problem.
What kind of friends do you have?
You know what kind of friends. What kind of friends do you have? Don't go away. Reinaldo.
This one was the first American production. I was supposed to do a role. The actor who was going to play Reinaldo, for some reason, couldn't do it. So Julian asked me to play the role. And I said, no, I don't want to do it. I can't. I don't speak English. I can't. And Julian, if you know him, he's a beautiful heart of a man. But he's very stubborn. He said, no, you are doing it. And all of a sudden, boom. And then some people started to say, you may be nominated for an Oscar. And I said, yeah, right. The day there were the announcements made, I remember watching on TV, and I got shocked. And then everybody was calling, and you have to do a lot of interviews on the phone. So I was doing interviews. You hang up the phone, and some other call will come in, and they were friends. Congratulations! And I would say, come to the apartment, and I'll see you. And then after 3 hours, I opened the door, and there were like 150 people in my apartment. It became one of the wildest parties I've ever been. Wild at the point where we had a terrace. And we ran out of beer and alcohol, and somebody called the fireman to fix the elevator because it was broken for so many people. And the fireman came, and we asked them to bring some drinks. And the fireman put the escalator towards the terrace, and we're bringing boxes of beers. And of course we said, come in, and some of them said, okay, we have a beer with you guys. It was a great party.
I mean, you are like a milk cow that gives milk all the time and then kicks over the bucket.
Así lo veo cuando yo quiero.
¿Y cómo es eso?
Cuando me apetece, me concentro.
The Sin Side is a movie that I think is a pretty good movie with a very important issue being told about the right to die. Who decides our own right to die? religion, politics, justice, or ourselves. And the movie is so beautifully done, and dealing with such a subtle, delicate matter is a love letter to life. And it's a movie that changed the social, political panorama in Spain. Now, recently has been approved the right for the euthanasia in Spain, which I think is a very important step for any civil rights in any country. First award that was given to me was Critic Circle's award in Spain for JAMÓN. And then after that, they screened the movie Fargo. And I remember watching the movie saying, wow, man, what an amazing story, what an amazing performance, what amazing everything. You imagine to do one of those? No, that's never gonna happen. Cut to, the Coens wants to see you, years later. I said, right. And then I sat down and I read the script and I didn't get it. It's like, what is all of this? Oh, this is crazy. And they said, we want you to play this character. I said, listen, he speaks English, he loves violence, he is violence, and he drives. I don't do any of those things. I can't do it. And they said, well, that's why we want you, because you can't do any of those things. And you may have fun with it. So, okay, listen, it's the Coens, I'll try. And then I went to New Mexico and I sat down a makeup trailer, and they came with a photograph of a brothel in the border with Mexico in the 50s or in the 60s, with a guy photographed with this haircut and 2 prostitutes. And I thought, what does this mean? And he said, well, we want you to look like that. I said, okay. And then the hairdresser, Paul, which was passed away recently, amazing hairdresser, in a second, with my own hair, made, and I saw it, and I said, yes, I have to make this movie. I mean, this is such a Coen brothers look. And because it was fun, it was ridiculous, it was fun. And then that, in comparison with what the character is, would make a very good Coen brothers character to play. I remember the gas station scene. I was so scared. It was one of the first scenes to shoot, actually, in the gas station. I was nervous because it's a long scene and it's a lot of blah, blah, blah. And I worked so hard on the dialogue, on the lines. And I start to play the scene. I see how good the actor is, the actor that plays the guy in the gas station. He's great because he really plays fear and insecurity to a different level. So it reminded me to one of the most golden laws in acting. When you are going to play a king, you don't have to act like a king. You have to make sure that people around you treat you like a king. Kings don't go like this. Kings can go like that. But people around you have to be like this. The scary part of that scene is not so much my character, but the actor who really recreates fear in an amazing way. And it was a couple of takes. Boom, done. I was like, what? Really? After months of preparing, this is it? I was so insecure, but they are the Coens and they know what they're doing.
Don't put it in your pocket, it's your lucky quarter. Where you want me to put it?
Anywhere not in your pocket. Or it will get mixed in with the others and become just a coin. Which it is.
Mañana nos vemos cuando volváis de los Pirineos. No cambies nada. No cambies nada, joder. Y de todas formas, sin pasarlo bien, mañana nos vemos. Sí.
Well, Biutiful was a very demanding movie for sure, because the story, the character, circumstance, it's heavy. But also it's a gift of a character to play, and it's beautifully written. The story is very heartbreaking, and the director is a genius. It was the first movie where Alejandro would do a story about one character alone. And of course, it was a role that left me touched by quite some time after I wrapped. But it's a movie that I'm very proud of, and I think it's one of his best movies for sure. And at the end, it speaks about love, about generosity, about empathy for others, for the foreigner, about how much you can trust in the other, in that one that you don't know, knowing that he or she is a human being that's going to be capable of really holding you when you need it.
Una hamburguesa con... Ahí va.
¿Cuánta patata frita se ha caído en el plato?
And one by one, they start eating each other until there are only two left, the two survivors. And then what? Do you kill them? No. You take them and release them into the trees. But now they don't eat coconut anymore. Now they only eat rat.
There was a moment where I was shooting this scene on a crystal cell, and then I was supposed to say the lines. I got blank. I said, Sam, cut. Any problem, Javier? I said, yes. The problem is that I just realized that I'm in a fucking James Bond movie. It's like M and James Bond are looking at me. I'm the villain. Jesus, I'm in a James Bond movie. And in that moment, I said, okay, ha 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 ha. Let's shoot. And we were rolling, and we were going to play the scene again. And then Judi Dench's cell phone starts to sing, and the ringtone is pam para pam 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 para pam para pam. It was like surreal. Like, really? That's a ringtone? And it was fun, but at the same time, it is a dramatic scene. So it's like, come on, guys, let's focus. Working with Sam Mendes, it's a gift. It's a joy. It's amazing. It's so rewarding in every aspect. And I said to Sam one day, Sam, I love you. Thank you for giving me this chance. It's been great, but I have one favor to ask. I know that the tone of pam para pam 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 is gonna be for Daniel, as it should. But just give me one while I'm on screen, please. And he gave it to me. I said, thank you. I have that.
Latest thing from Q-Branch. Called a radio.
Mira, I don't like hanging around with married women. I don't. So next time we are going out, you're not going to be his wife.
No?
No.
Will I be his widow?
Ay, María, Virginia.
Well, in Loving Pablo, I was a producer as well. And I said, well, there's only one actress that I can play this role as good as I can imagine, and it's my wife. I don't care if you don't want to do it. I'm the producer. You are doing it. And you know what? You're not going to get paid. She said, okay, but we can take the kids and we can be together, Colombia, blah, blah. And also because she loved the project, she loved Fernando Leon, which is the director, the story, and the character. I think it's one of her best performances, hands down. And it was intense. The relationship between Virginia and Pablo Escobar was very dramatic, intense, and brutal. And there were scenes where I knew that doing it, both of us will take a different depth. We'll go further because we know each other and we know that we can go far with it. But it was a great experience. It's a movie that we all are very proud of.
You're breaking my heart. After all that I've done for you.
What have you done for me? Nothing.
Name what you want. If it's in my power to grant, I'll give it and ask for nothing.
I ask for this. Do not seek our sieges. Do not trespass in our lands.
Dune happened because Denis Villeneuve called me and said, I want to sit down with you. And when Denis Villeneuve wants to sit down with you, you go there and sit down and listen. And he said, I have a small role. If there is such a thing as the second part of the book, the role will be bigger. And I would love you to do it if you want to. And I said, of course I want to. I don't care if there is a second movie or not. I don't care how big or small is the role. I love you, what you do as a director. And then it happens, as it usually happens actually, that those great directors are also great people, great human beings. We were in Jordan and in Hungary shooting, and he's creating a world of his dreams. He is a project of his dreams, and you can tell. He plays with all the elements. He's so exquisite in the detail of everything. And at the same time, he gives you the room to enjoy and be yourself. Bring whatever you want to bring to the character. I'm here. And if it works, you're more than welcome. And I love being with such an amazing team of people, behind and in front of the camera. So talented, everyone. Being part of a movie like this, it's like something big. It's an honor.
Won't you stay? We would honor you.
Honor requires that I be elsewhere.
Te veo con la cabeza en otro lado. ¿Qué te pasa? ¿Dónde estás?
Mi mujer dice que necesita aire. ¿Le compro una botella de oxígeno o qué cojones hago yo?
The Good Boss is the Spanish entry for the Oscars for this year, and it's been recognized with 20 nominations for Goyas, which is the record break history in the history of the Goyas. And it's a movie that speaks about the abuse of power in a working place, but through a lot of sense of humor, and also a very social statement that really punched you in the stomach when you finish the movie. And I think it's one of the greatest movies I've had the chance to be in, and for sure one of the greatest characters I've ever played. It's playing now in the States, and every joke lands as it lands in Spain. There's no lost in translation situation, and it's great because the world that this movie represents is universal, it's not local.
¿Te acerco?
No es buena idea.
5 years ago, when I start to hear about this project, I start to digging into that. I know who Lucille Ball is, but who is this Desi Arnaz? And I was drawn into it, and I start to watch the shows and hear him talking in the talk shows, and I start to read the book, and I was immediately drawn into his energy, his revolutionary way of thinking in many things. And they first went, as it should, to other actors that had more Cuban roots, and when that didn't happen, they came to me, and I was like, yes, with all the respect and honoring the origins of the character, I will do my best, and I will worship the role as the role deserves because of what he represents to the Cuban community, the Latin community, and also to the TV world. And it's been a great experience, and again, a very demanding one. Very demanding because when you have the fine, beautiful, exquisite writing of Aaron Sorkin, you have the heights and the depths that you need as an actor, but at the same time, that's a great responsibility and commitment as an actor to fulfill that with honesty. I talked to Aaron and said, I think we need the Babalu moment. And he said, are you up to it? I said, well, yes. I don't know if I will be able to achieve it, but we have to put it on because it's his trademark. And I have the chance to rehearse the conga playing with Walfredo Reyes Jr., which is an amazing drummer in the world. And then the day came, and I was so nervous that I was hitting so hard the conga that I started to bleed the fingers, and the conga drum was full of blood. And as you can see in the scene is very spectacular, it's very powerful. If I could talk to my 17, 16, 18-year-old Javier, I would say, man, I'm 52 and I'm still making a living out of this. Wow, congratulations, it's happening. Don't take anything for granted and earn it. Worship every opportunity you have, because then if you're lucky, you may end up being an old man still working.